What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am happy to bring you another Miami Dolphins episode of In the Blender. I got a guest I met through Papa Paw. He is also living in the Northeast. We'll talk more about that when I bring him up. So sit back, relax, get yourself a cigar. I got my drink, my little gin and juice. Always does the trick. And we'll be back right after this, baby.
Shake, 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 yeah. Shake, 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 shake. Shake money in the place. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender was shaking his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender was shaking his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Is you a fan or a troll? Are you trying to wish us good? Trying to take control, bringing problems to the hood. What takes your soul? Miami Dolphins bring the wood. Super Bowl is the goal. Tyreek Hill. I'm trying to kick it with Shake. You gotta be a real fan. No pretenders and fakes. We're gonna open up the line. Come correct with your taste. If you step into us blind, we're gonna show you the way. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender was shaking his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Miami plays, Miami days in the blender was shaking his friends. We're gonna talk about the Fins again. Never want the season to end. Just mix it up a little with gin. And I remember when I knew that the Dolphins would win. Yeah, rockin' with Shake, rockin' with Shake. Let's go. I never want the season to end. Never mix it up a little with gin. That's right. Pass it off to one of my friends. Yeah, rockin' with Shake, rockin' with Shake. Larry K, what up? Phin-Addicts. TFTG, the tailgate. Miami Dolphins, baby. What up, Lou? Shake money. Crypto. Check it. Me? God bless y'all. Miami Dolphins #1. And we out. Miami Dolphins football, the greatest football team. We push the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. Respect us.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Michael K? Listen, don't worry. That's why we have the timeout button. So if you get out of line, I will put you in timeout. So I don't care. Talk all your trash. Just don't talk shit to the guest. That's all I ask. Anyway, Raphael Courtright, what's going on, my brother? How you doing? Hope everything is well with you. Hey, listen, like I said, my man is coming from the Northeast, and no, those are promises. Anyway, he is coming from the Northeast, and I would like to introduce to you my man, Tom O Gara. Here you go. What's going on, Tom? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me, Shake.
Oh,
You know,
man.
big boy, I can handle myself. They get out of line.
Yeah, feel you. No, but I'm not trying to make the show about him. It is what it is. He likes
Yeah, no
he has this ego. He's very egotistical and tries to make everything about him, but it's not about him. You know what I mean? It
Yeah,
is
no
what
problem.
it is, though.
You're good.
So I'll tell him. Listen. I'll let him know why you lost a member. I'll let him know. He'll know. He'll understand. So
Okay.
just message him on Facebook, Larry Curran, whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, so that's it. That's all I'm talking. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway,
Okay.
so you're from Jersey, correct?
Yeah, I live in Trenton, New Jersey. A little outside. I'm in Hamilton, but I grew up in Trenton.
That's nice. So I see you're a Knicks fan and a Yankees fan.
Yeah, Knicks, Yankees, Duke, and the Dolphins. I know it's a little eclectic for where I'm from, but we can get into all that if you
Also,
like.
what's going on? Huh? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I said it's a little eclectic, but we can get into that if you'd like. Um, so basically growing up, which like here a lot of people are gonna hate this, but whatever. So when growing up, my dad was actually a diehard Jets fan. We had season tickets for
Yeah.
26 years before he passed. I was going to Jets games from diapers through, but as soon as I was old enough to like, walk and talk, it was never about the Jets for me. I would just go to spend time with him, but it was always Marino, it was always McDuffie. We had family up in the Poconos, so they used to like
Hmm.
Penn State. We used to go to some of those Penn State games. So as a little guy, I used to watch OJ play before he got drafted. But it was always Marino. Like we'd be walking in and be like, "Oh, look, there's a Titans hat, the Jaguars, whatever team the Jets were playing, just to be like against the Jets, I would get it." But it was always Marino for me. Um, Growing up, the good with the bad, and then same thing with the Yanks. Was going to Yanks games as a child, Knicks games at the Garden,
Hmm.
and I always liked Duke because I liked what they stood for. Like Coach K was a great coach, and the players they had. Like Shane Battier is probably my all-time favorite Duke player, which is a little eclectic for that too. But for the Dolphins, I go to the Jets game up here is my home game for here, and I travel down to as many games down in South Florida or wherever they are. In the last couple of years, I kind of said, "Fuck it." I don't really have like I'm not married. I don't have any kids. So I like to do like the autograph collecting. I've been doing that since I was about 4 years old as well. So like try to meet the players before, after the game,
Yeah.
hotel, airport, wherever the case would be. Different like camps and events they have, like softball games that are pretty prevalent now. But I've been doing that forever too. They say never meet your heroes unless you're like ready for it.
Uh-huh.
We just have to understand like these guys are people too. Like sometimes you have good days and bad days, and situationally things happen in their personal lives where like sometimes they give you the time of day, sometimes they won't. But mostly our guys are pretty good about it. They really appreciate the fan support everywhere. They see all of us going all over the place for them, going wild, whether they're 2-15 or 11-5, 11-6, whatever the case may be. We'll always be there for them.
So, which one was your best fan meetup, and what would you say was your worst?
Uh, there's a lot of good memories over the years. I would say one of the worst would be that Monday Night Miracle game where Miami was up like 31-3 going into
Yeah.
halftime and ended up losing. I think I was like 6 or 7 years old. That shit was rough going home. But there was also some really awesome memories like the fake spike game. Um, Jay Fiedler in the early 2000s, Pennington when he came back, we won the AFC East in '08, and he came back, like played with the Jets before. That was really awesome. Saw a bunch of the Ricky Williams big games. Jay Ajayi's 200-yard game was really cool. Actually, I have his cleat from that game here. Um, some other good memories, like when we did Philadelphia a couple years ago, it was like we did like the training camp crossover with them. They were in Philly for a week, so I ended up knowing where they were staying, and I went to that game as well. It was a preseason game. It was week 2 or 3, and
Hmm.
that whole week, like when I was meeting the players and stuff, I ended up like not having anything else to get signed, just because it was the access was great. There was really nowhere for them to go, and at that time, like there wasn't really a lot of these inter conferences where we had them like every other year. It was like every 8 years, every 6 years. So these guys didn't even know where to go in Philly. They would come out, and I'd be like, they were like, "Yo, where do I go?" Like, and I had gone to school in Philadelphia, so I kind of know the area. They were like asking me for suggestions on places to eat, things to do. So I got pretty close with a lot of the guys, like Rashad Jones was my guy for like 5 or 6 years. Every time he saw me, showed me love. Took our yearly picture. Got it signed the same year. I have his cleats and gloves too. Like he was awesome.
Okay,
Cam
that's what's
Wake was
up.
decent. Like
G5,
Cam, huh?
Mr. G5, that was his nickname.
Yeah, G5. He was always very quiet, but super nice. He kind of reminds me of like how Devon Achan is now. Very quiet, very humble guy. But the more you get to know him, the more that the layers of the onion peel away, and you kind of get that personality, that little flair, pizzazz out of him.
Yeah, Raphael brings up a good name. Cam Wake was another guy who was kind of reserved and kept to himself. He really wasn't a media darling. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And number
even even
91, there you go.
even now, like as he's retired and everything, he's like still like a really big, big figure for Dolphins history, especially like guys my age. Like I'm 34. Um, you don't see much of him now, even like doing events and different things. And not that he doesn't want to, or not that he
Mhm.
wouldn't. More the fact he likes his privacy, like kind of like how Zach was like 3, 4 years ago with this Hall of Fame push. Like Zach's always super kind, super nice, genuine. He would look you in the eye every time he talked to you, but he enjoyed his privacy, like raising his kids up and being a family man after his career was over. And now he's coming right back into the fold again. So which is really good to see.
Yeah, he has like I remember listening to in the fish tank podcast
Hmm.
with and by the way, OJ McDuffie was on this program. He's going to be on again next year. And the one thing I noticed about that program, they went to him in Texas.
Hmm.
He
Yeah.
didn't. He's like and that was probably like the first interview, probably the only interview I've ever seen of. He doesn't do too many interviews.
Yeah, he opened up a lot too. I mean, OJ is such a wonderful human being. Like, regardless that he was a great athlete and player for us, like he's just a very good dude. Um,
Yeah,
and like him and Zach were close, and they got to talking a lot. Like that whole episode, the couple episodes he's had with him were really good. Like some of those stories with Zach, like almost dying, and like all of these crazy things happening. Like you just gotta respect the guy that was just always kicked while he was down and wasn't picked like to do anything, and how far he rose from a fifth round pick to a Hall of Fame player. Like he gave his all for us.
yeah, for sure. Um, and the one thing I liked about that episode was the fact that, yeah, like you said, when he was rookie. He earned, he was a insanely in the film room. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He would literally have like I think Seth was the PR guy at the time, have dinner brought to the stadium because he would literally live there. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, Jimmy rode his ass hard. Like, and he ended up at the end of the day, he said he needed that. It pushed him just to strive to be that much better, to work that much harder to get to like where he achieved and the goals he did achieve.
Uh,
Like
what's up? No, I wish this was a Cuban. This is just a regular Tatiana. This is a regular like one of those cigars. Just a regular Tatiana cigar. What's up, Mark Brown? How you doing? So, how about like the what about the worst fan experience? Would you say?
um I don't know. I mean, the Jets fans they're loud and obnoxious, but they're never physical or anything like that. Like I've never really had like a such an experience where like it turned me off to like even going back to that place this thus far. I mean, I've been to like more baseball stadiums than anything, but football in the last few years, I've checked a lot of boxes. I would say Green Bay's fan base is really humble. I mean, Philly gets a really bad rap, but you also have to use some common sense in Philly. It just like I just know Philly from living there for a few years of being there. Like they're the most passionate fans, and the people that like get it and have been fans for a long time and have dealt with the good and the bad, those are going to be your more respectful fans. These younger kids just trying to get a rise out of you, like if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and you're going to have a situation like it's just bound to happen, and there's no exit. So I'd say Philly, they're not bad. It's just you got to be smart. Green Bay
Yeah,
was fine. Indy was great. They were hospitable. You saw how they were.
yeah, they were. I
Um,
was there. That's where I first met you is at the indie game.
Yeah, they were actually very cool people. Like that whole stadium kind of has a good vibe. Like anyone that's going to think about going to opening game this year, like I highly recommend it. I'm not going just since I've already done it, and I have like a bunch of other games on the schedule. But yeah, I definitely recommend Indy is a really good place with some good people. Green Bay, Indy. Where else did I do last year? Baltimore's not too bad. Um, what else? What else? What else? I think. I didn't do Houston, but I heard good things about Houston. This year, I'm looking at doing Carolina and Atlanta. It'll be the first time at both those stadiums, and Pittsburgh as well. I've been to Pittsburgh like eight or nine times, like straight, but not for football. For baseball actually. Just
Hmm.
that city itself is gorgeous. Like looking in the outfield, and you have the whole center city and the three yellow bridges going over 12th Street Bridge, which is Roberto Clemente Bridge, and then the football stadium's like 2 blocks further up at Inland. That's you could tell, like, every place you go, you can kind of see the characteristics of what the people are and where they're from. You know what I mean? You have some hardworking blue collar people that are just grit and they love football. You know what I mean? Like they eat, sleep, and drink their sports in Pittsburgh.
So that's where you're going this year, Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna do Pittsburgh, Carolina, Atlanta, and I'm doing Spain.
Oh shit! Hey man, so far two out of the three games. I'm
Perfect.
doing
Can't
Pitts.
wait.
I was gonna do Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, it lands due to scheduling. I'm going back to Indy because number one, there's a guy. He used to he used to live where I lived. He lived down here for a
Right.
while for a brief minute, and one of our traditions was we used to go to his house and watch the Colts game play. We went to The first game I went with him was to the game where it was Jacoby Brissett,
Oh God.
and unfortunately was a starter. And then the second game was this one that just passed. So I'm just gonna hang out with him. And then there's some fans that there's also some people that I've met through this channel that I would like to meet. Like Scott Jackson is one of them,
Absolutely.
and there's another guy named Ken Ranking. There's a few people that I would like to meet as well. Not to mention,
Isn't
like you said, it's a beautiful stadium. So
Absolutely. Isn't it such a like an awesome thing? Like as much as sports is like we all like different teams, have different ideologies and fandoms, the way we fan, the way we travel, go see games, that
yeah,
it can bring us together and like you network as like, and you meet people that are friends that become family, like and lifelong friends from it. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
oh yeah, it is. Yeah, man.
I was like super hyped for Spain. Like I kind of knew more about dates and kind of idea of what was going to happen for Spain, like when I got back from the cruise. So I kind of was like, fuck it, let's do it. Like even my mom, who's not like super big into it, like she was going to the games with us when I was in diapers, but she hated it. She hates heights because we were in the top at the Jets. We were like where like Fireman Ed was before he came down and became like a figure for them. Um, she was all hyped as soon as she saw Spain. She's like, "Oh, do you think I can come with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like if you want to, like I just hope you understand. Like me going to these games, like I get wild, like I have a good time." And
Yeah,
she's like,
for sure.
what's different? You drinking 20 beers at the house, yelling on Sunday, screaming at the TV. What's the difference in going in person? I'm like, it's a little different, but yeah, I mean, it should be fun. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, as
man.
much as we're going to see the Dolphins, I'm going to see a place I've never been, like to experience the culture and throw myself and immerse myself in a new place. Like, I love doing that. So Madrid should be fun.
If my man Lewis is still here, he's gonna go to he's going to the Indy game. He's
Oh,
going to the
awesome.
Atlanta game, and he's going to the also going to the Carolina game, which my wife is trying to get me to move to North Carolina. So
Oh, yeah.
I
I heard
mean,
Carolinas are nice. Like the rock
mhm,
festival that I just went to, like the people we ended up staying with, like we got an Airbnb and then it got canceled like a week before we went. So we were kind of scrambling to find a place because like at that point, it's like it was like 200,000 people there for corn the last night. So there was like no place to stay. We ended up like rooming with these other people randomly. They were from Carolina. They were like the sweetest people you can imagine. Ended up becoming friends with them, and we're making plans to do stuff with them in the future too. Like, yeah, you kind of get what you get out of it, what you put into it. If you're just a nice person with like an open mindset, and you find people that like things that like
yeah,
interests, like what I mean, it just works so much better than having to be like closed off and mean about it. Just like be open, just go with the flow sometimes.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I've had a lot of fun. Like for instance, one of my favorite things to do because I'm on the west coast of Florida is go to Dolph Freaky's watch parties, the Way watch parties. Those are
Uh,
pretty fun. That's where I met Zach Thomas. I got
That's awesome.
yeah, yeah, and I got I'm also going to the what you call it, the beach bash she's having
Oh, that's
as
awesome.
well.
Yeah. I'd love to come down for some of those events. It's like I'm gonna have to pick and choose and definitely come down one time. Like there's so many good people in our fan base that we
Oh
like
yeah,
that
it
we
is. I
know, we
agree.
became friends with. Like we all do so many different things that are so good, like as a whole. Like, what I mean? As much as everyone hates on our team and thinks that we're all these whatever, like, we stick together regardless through thick and
Yeah.
thin.
And speaking of which, man, I had to postpone it, but I got Lisa. She agreed to
Oh,
come on the program.
awesome.
And
Nice.
this Saturday I got Paris Love
Hell yeah.
coming in.
Two studs right there. Lisa's
Yeah, yeah.
great. Paris the
Paris Love
man.
is one of those. He's given away tickets before to people that never got to experience a game.
Yeah, two people that be willing to take the shirt off their back for you and then some, just to make sure that you're okay. And it's like, dude, I want
Yeah.
to experience this with you. You made this possible. I want you to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's really good people.
Oh yeah. So let's start talking about this season coming up.
All
I
right.
usually see you on with sometimes I see you with my man Pedro, which I'm hoping to meet at the Carolina game
Oh,
because
you'd have to.
he's gonna be
You
there.
guys would hit it off real well.
Yeah, this is my third season of In the Blender. He was on season one.
That's
That's
awesome.
how
Yeah,
I met
Pedro's
him.
such a good dude. His
That's
whole
that's how I
family's
met the
awesome.
first time. The first time I ever spoke to Pedro was on this show because of Tori Day from Dolphins Den.
That's crazy.
He recommended. He like, hey man, one day he just randomly messaged me, hey, can you I would like to see you interview Pedro the Fantastic Painter. I said, hey man, set it up.
Hell yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you'll see me on Tuesdays
I
with him. You'll see me on Wednesdays with Paul. Like, I'm gonna get back into that soon. Like, I've just been so busy, and like this way my schedule's been. Like, all those guys in those groups, Dolphin Winter, Ethan, John O'Hanlon, Derek. Like, there's so many I can list off like 70, 80 people. You know, like both different things. Matt Mahaffey. Both shows are great that I do with those guys, and when you're on there too.
yeah. And what you call, yeah, I've had Paul on here. I've also had Tom O Gara. I mean, not Tom, Johnny O last year.
Johnny's the fucking man.
Yeah, Johnny, I love Johnny, man. He has a, I mean, he showed us. What's up, Crypto? Um, he showed me the. By the way, this is Crypto. He's gonna be my. We're gonna be riding together in the
Oh hell yeah.
Carolina and the Atlanta game. That's gonna be that's my road dog right there.
Perfect. I get to meet him since he does the show. Sometimes I get to talk with him and whatnot. And never get to
Yeah, yeah.
meet him, so that'd be awesome.
Good dude
Uh,
right there.
yeah,
But
dude. Lou's a good dude too. Like all
yeah,
the
yeah.
guys you. What was it? What, ma? Sorry.
That's all right. So, what was your favorite? What was your favorite? Not including draft, but what was your favorite off-season pickup, and what was your least favorite pickup? Would you say?
Hmm. Last year I was loving that Jordan Brooks one, so that came to fruition. That was beautiful. Um, I'll have to break it down like this. If we're going draft, I really liked both first and second round picks. I think, what I mean, it is what it is. As much people hate with the trade, Jonah was going to get taken, so that was perfect for them. As much as Grant was a little bit reach, there was also a lot of pop on him. So I think we checked two boxes right off the bat. I love both those ads. And I like to kind of, I mean, as much as people hate it, Greer sometimes takes a chance on guys that he thinks that are going to have potential. Like Traders have potential. The kid from Florida had injuries have potential. Overall, though,
Yeah,
I really like the James Daniel ad if he's healthy, and I really like Nikhil Westbrook Akine. I think that's going to get lost in translation for a lot of people. If they're like, "Who's this guy?" I think he's like pretty good. He's sneaky talented. He's long. He's fast. And he's got size. When's the last time the Dolphins had someone over 6'1" as a receiver? I mean, Devontae Parker, but we only got what 7, 8 games a year. We had Prime Parker right before that first contract
yeah,
extension, but
yeah.
we
And
haven't really had
unfortunately,
a true number three. You know what I mean?
Easy can never stay on the field. He's like what 6'2", 6'3", or something like that. 6'2".
Yeah,
He
he's
can't stay
pretty. I
on
think
the
he's like
field.
6'4", but like he never could stay on the field. I mean, think about it. We had Westbrook Akine had 9 TDs with the plethora mix of Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. So I mean, granted that some of these weren't great busted coverage or whatever, but even if you can get half that production as a number 3 receiver with the 2 studs we have, if we could have a healthy trio of wide receivers, and then Ollie Gordon is a big back, we've all been banging the table for a long time. We have our offense is pretty decent. It's kind of the same. If our O line holds up, like if Tua stays healthy, there's not much of a drop off what we had last year. This team, like everyone thinks we're going to be shit, like 5-12. This team could surprise and kind of maybe get 9, 10 wins. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen in this league. We had a couple
No,
things
no, for
bounce
sure.
the wrong way. You know what I mean? A couple bounces in our direction. For once, if Miami gets a bounce in the right way, we could maybe surprise some people.
By the way, RIP to Jim Irsay.
Absolutely.
And I think the coming out of the gate, the first game, I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be tough to get a win in that game because that they're gonna be emotionally charged. I was reading, I was listening, I was seeing some things about Jim Irsay as an owner, and man,
Mhm.
he was like a player's owner. You know what I'm saying? He was like the. If you listen to things that he's done, this is the kind of things that I want Stephen Ross to do. He actually shows up in the facility and he's around the players and things like that. He wanted to keep his distance, but Tony Dungy said, "No, man, you have to be there
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying?"
Absolutely, want
And
involved.
yeah, and unfortunately, look, I understand. You got to go to where your butter is bread is buttered because we all know that Stephen Ross's main money is not the Dolphins,
Yeah, it's
so
all the
that's why he's in
entertainment
the
that he
door.
brings in.
You know what I mean?
He's no dummy. He's definitely a smart businessman. That he's using that Michigan degree for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean, yes. I mean, if you want to go one by one, so we got what? Indy week 1, New England week 2. I mean, our division got better. Simple as
Yeah, for
that.
sure.
Everyone in our division got better. I don't think yet that the Pats are going to be ready to compete, but they will be very soon. I mean, you can't just add 12 players and think it's going to work, but they
Yeah.
definitely hit a lot of good picks. Were able to bring them back to physicality. Um, we got week 3. Buffalo week 3, I think.
Yeah, in Buffalo Thursday night.
Of course, I mean, Buffalo is Buffalo. They're going to be what they're going to be. This team, the whole identity, a lot of talk in the offseason is getting more physical. And I think we added a lot of pieces to try to get there. You know what I mean? I think that Mike, I don't know how he's going to reel it back in from being a buddy buddy to a disciplinarian, but it's plausible if, he lays the ground rules early and starts, these fucking $25,000 fines ain't gonna do anything. These guys are millionaires. You gotta start finding quarters and playing time and spots or stuff of that nature. But I do think with the pieces we added on both sides of the ball that we can get more physical, more nasty. Jonah's a straight warrior. He's nasty. James Daniels, if healthy, he's nasty. Kenneth Grant, for 360 pounds, that man can run. He could fly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? People compare him to Wilkins because it was the same pick. Honestly, think he has better first step than Wilkins. I don't know if he has enough power yet, but he's just a house. So we'll see. I wish they could figure the Ramsey situation out because with him, I like what we have. Without him, we're very thin on the corners. I mean, you see all the rumors. We're looking at Asani Samuel, Rasul Douglas. Please God, don't sign James Bradbury. And there's a ton of free agent safeties available. So like, what I mean, it depends what they want. I like a lot of the per se reaches for our safety room. Like Iftay's good. He was their starting safety in a crowded and filthy Lions secondary that was, one series away from making the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And then they got Branch and they added Arnold and all these other players. So like he was just expendable. And then Ashton Davis didn't play that much with the Jets. When he did, he shined. He could be a good like rotational third safety guy out there. But we'll see what happens. I like some of the things we did, questionable on some other things, typical Dolphins. But as you know,
Hey,
it's
man.
gonna be, oh, our team sucks. We didn't do anything. We didn't spend any money. We didn't make any splash signings. But at the same time, in the past years, we made these splash signings, but the team wasn't ready. Spent a shit ton of money on Sue. He wasn't bad. He wasn't a bust, but the team itself wasn't built ready to be just one player to make things work. So why overspend on a lot of these guys and make a flashy signing and it might not work out? They kind of were calculated with it with the money. You saw they didn't restructure some of these contracts. They want to see what they got. You know what I mean? You're not going to push
Yeah.
the can down the road anymore. So it looks like they're trending and doing the things the right way. Just hope it's not too late to where we get stuck dealing with the same regime. Because if you're not going to keep the coach of the GM, I don't really see the point of keeping the same vision and things alive. You know what I mean? Cut
Hmm.
bait earlier than try to do it and then have a new guy come in and do his whole thing. And then we're set back another 5 years.
Yeah, I think the only way that would work, um, is the only way that would work if we keep Chris Greer is if they make um, Anthony Weaver the head coach. Then it'll be kind of like it's not really changing the system; it's just changing the head coach.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You just geared more towards D. You have the offensive players. You know what they can do at this point. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
you still
probably
have
the
Frank
last year
Smith,
with
you have Darren
Tyreek.
Bevel, you have the that kind of know
Bevel's
the
gone,
offense.
isn't he? We lost Bevel. We kept Smith, but Bevel's gone, I think.
Oh, Bevel? No, no, I think he's. I could be wrong, but yeah, because I know we had Slovic is a new guy that we got from Houston.
Yeah, Bobby Slowick. Yeah, he's not
Yeah,
bad. He did wonders for CJ. So it's all about keeping Uno upright and on the field. He's got to be smarter. I think he understands that at this point. Not worth any unnecessary risks and trying to be a hero. I just feel like he felt like he had to be too much and do too many little things because they just weren't doing shit. But I mean, we'll see what happens. Who else we got after that 3? We got 4. Week 4 is yeah, I mean, I'm using my phone, so I can't look right now, but
that's
trying
all
to
right.
think through the schedule. But I
Uh,
think if we can compete in AFC and at least get
yeah,
in there, you know what I mean? I mean, this whole cold shit, we got to get over that too. I mean, even in some of these cold weather games, we played great on one side of the ball, but we're not playing complete ball games.
yeah.
Like we're two at
Complimentary
like
football.
absolutely 2 had 3 incompletions, 4 incompletions versus Buffalo, and we're still losing the game on a 62-yard field goal. He didn't play terrible in Green Bay, and we still got kind of ran out of place because they couldn't stop the run. Just need to play a complete game. Like stupid shit, like taking your helmet off the field, getting a 15-yard penalty is dumb. Just a lack of discipline, attention to detail. Like as attention to detail you are in these videos and these play designs. I know it's a lot for someone to do offense, defense, and everything, and call plays as like a younger guy, newish head coach. You got to rely on some of these older guys and vets and different assistant coaches you bring in there for advice, like, and use the advice. Like they've been bad at making adjustments forever. Weaver was pretty good most of the time last year, making adjustments after things weren't going correctly. But that's
Yeah,
another thing I need to work on this year too, is adjusting to play style, tempo, the way the game's shaken out. You know what I mean? You have to make changes. You have weapons all over the fucking field.
yeah, and I think look, look, I understand where Tua's coming from the fact that look, McDaniel believed in me when nobody else did. So, and he had faith in him, and he was instrumental in him getting his contract. So there's a lot of respect there for him.
Mhm.
But at the same time, he's got us when he's behind the center and he sees a play that McDaniel's called and it's not going to work. Say, look, sorry, McDaniel, I got to change this up and do something
Agree.
different.
Put your foot down, dude. Like as much as your coach might get mad at you sometimes, if you're seeing it, you got to let it ride and do what you got to do. You're not going to keep doing these stupid 1 yard screens, turn your back to it, and you have a free rusher beating the hell out of himself. I agree compulsively on that one. We'll see. I think things will be designed different this year for sure. We just got to hope for health. We haven't had a full healthy team for more than 1 or 2 weeks at a time in the last 3 seasons, just about. Like we were playing, mix and match band-aid fix with the offensive line. And every time it's like, oh, we got a 70-point game. Oh, we might have a whole team. And Waddle didn't even play. And then it's like, just lose one weapon at a time, one X factor play at a time. I'm hoping Phillips comes back strong. I mean, he's had a lot of time. He looks pretty good in his recovery. Same thing with Chubb. I think it was, the smart play to actually let him, it wasn't worth it to have him come play 2, 3 games and risk it. The whole off season, those guys together with Chop, love to see that because we hadn't seen that yet at all. To have three outstanding defensive pass rushers, and Sealer has help finally. That's a diamond in the rough that they found too.
Yeah, that's silly. Hell yeah, he was. And I think Baltimore was trying to stash him.
Yeah, they were trying to play with the waiver, and then just Miami scooped them.
And this the dude. This is the dude. I'm gonna hopefully meet in Indianapolis. What's going on, Scott Jackson? What's going on, man? My man Scott Jackson in the building.
Hell yeah.
So, with that being said, how about let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
If at 13 pick 13, if Chris Greer gave you the card, what would have been your decision? Or do you think
With
that was
with
the right
what
one?
exactly how it shook out like that?
Mm-hmm.
I would have
With
had a
all the
hard
players
time.
that were still on the board.
I would have had a real hard time not going Tyler Warren. I know but I also would have made a little bit more of an attempt to get another interior lineman free agent wise if I was going that way. I think Tyler Warren's huge. Because you could have paired him between having two tight ends. You might lose John in next year anyway. But I would have either gone Warren. I would have either traded back and try to get Nick Amarwarni or Malachi Starks later. Or I mean, honestly, I don't hate the pick. I truly don't hate Kenneth Grant right there. Kenneth Grant was like, I mean, you heard me say it before. Kenneth Grant was one of my guys that I thought that I liked because we were never going to get Mason Graham at that where we were. Um, and we were never going to get Will Campbell, unfortunately. And as soon as the Saints scooped up Banks at 9, you kind of were like, shit, there's a runner offensive lineman right here. Like, what are you going to do? You had Mahmood go off. You had Banks go off. You had Campbell go off. You need one. You have no choice at this point to take an interior alignment, period, at this point. And you see how Miami likes their guys that are versatile, that can play multiple positions. Like,
Yeah,
that's
for
been like
sure.
one thing they do. They like guys. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's a bad thing because, like, you're screwing guys up. Like Liam was great in college, and he's been god awful in the NFL.
Yeah,
Like you
I
have him
mean,
play every single position. Like you got to let these guys develop and
yeah,
learn one thing before you start moving them all around. I just
yeah.
don't know what that guy did to himself.
There's a thing called Jack of all trades, master of none, and that's pretty much Liam Eichenberg. He never had
Yeah,
really had a chance to develop, not even a side of the line, let alone a position in the line.
right.
Right guard, left guard, right tackle, left
Center.
tackle. It's like center. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like, dude. I was making a joke earlier this year. I said, "Fuck it, why not put him on the defensive line? Let him play every position on that too. What the hell?"
He could play left bench. I'm good with that.
But
I
no,
think I
I
think
would say one thing I do agree. Look, I don't I'm not a big Eichenberg hater like most people are. I like Eichenberg. I'm sure he's a good person, but
yeah.
one thing I do agree is backup is the key,
Mhm.
not starter. If you know what I'm saying, because let's face it, when offensive linemen get hurt, the starters,
Yeah,
there's
it's
always a drop
inevitable.
off. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, and
See,
not to mention, listen, the offensive lineman Butch Berry said to, at one of the press conferences why they kept him. He said he was the glue of the offensive line, quote unquote, the glue. I don't
yeah.
know how true that is, but it is. You know,
I mean,
take
it might
take.
be better for him because he has less pressure. He has less pressure to be
Mhm.
something he's not per se. Um, I think honestly, to be honest with you, I think Miami was looking at getting Rob Jones back and letting Eichenberg go, but they offered
Mhm.
him probably about the same money, like 2 million, 2.25. But as soon as the Cowboys offered like 2 years, 9, 1 year, 5, like he was going to take that, was double what we were offering, and we kind of just came back knowing that Eichenberg probably wasn't being sought after like a lot of these other guys. But it's like you said, he's a perfect backup since he knows the system. He's been in it a few years. You just have to hope that, you're not relying on him for more than a couple games. If you're relying on him for a half a season plus, like this timing based offense is so key for up the middle. Like it fucks everything up immediately. If you have two guys into his backfield before he can even let the play develop. These guys are fast. They can't get more than 5, 6 yards down the field. That's why you see a shit ton of screen plays.
And by the way, Mike, one thing Michael K brought up earlier was the fact that Buffalo Bills are going to be on Hard Knocks this year.
Are they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I saw the rumor was, or maybe that's they're what the pre before the season Hard Knocks.
Hmm.
Because I saw that the NFC East is going to be the in season all four teams because no one actually really wanted to do it, and then certain teams were like, "Well, we don't want to have you all year. If you want to do like a portion of the season, like we'll do that." And it ended up being two of the NFC East teams that agreed to that doing portion of the season. So, you know what? Well, we can do the whole. If we do the whole season, do you mind doing a focus here, here, and here? And then that's what they agreed. So it's gonna be the four NFC teams, NFC East teams are gonna be on the in-season Hard Knocks or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. So I mean,
Uh,
not to mention, I think the Dolphins were like, this is the if the Dolphins going to do it this time around, even if they want to, they already did like this is gonna be like they did the in season and they did the off season backward
mm,
filming, and man, I ain't gonna lie, man. One of the things that made me stop watching that was when they traded Vontae Davis.
yeah, rest in peace to him. See,
Oh yeah,
like
rest in peace.
I think it's cool. It gives us a good inside look and whatnot. But this team has enough fucking distractions and problems as it is. They have too many
Yeah,
big egos and popularity contests, and when things aren't going well, our studs have a lot of things to say. And like Tyreek, for example, like he lets his emotions get the best of him a lot of the time. Like you keep pushing him, he's gonna say something he doesn't mean, which he did. We have to see him make up for that, obviously, with his effort this year. But I'd rather not right now, especially with like last year was crucial. This year's even more crucial than that. Like we don't need that shit this year. Like if we kind of figure things out and get it together, maybe get a playoff win, sure. Sure. You want to get a little notoriety with these guys, sure. But right now I'm glad we didn't do it, to be honest with you.
yeah, for
Um
sure. And um, I think one of the reasons what I have this theory. What there's a theory going around actually that the reason they got rid of these old players is that they were kind of stuck in their ways and they got the it's a younger locker room. You know what I mean? So I think
yeah.
they're a little hungrier versus some of these players that been in the league for a while. They're a little more content, if you will.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean
And the
it's
other thing that's eye opening. What do you think of the fact that no free agent this year got more than a 1 year contract?
yeah, it's says a lot about. I mean, I'm hoping it says a lot about the line is drawn in the sand. Put up or shut up, or we're going in a different fucking direction. So prove you want to be here,
Yeah,
and then you'll get the bag. Like, we have the contract constraints and money constraints, but there's so many ways to manipulate and make money. But I think this year is the prove you want to be here, prove you guys can be a team, prove you guys can do this together, not all individuals. Like we had a lot of individual success for a lot of players last year. We had a lot of guys that underachieved, but Brooks was great, Sealer was great. Sanders had a great year. Jonnu Smith, great year. Dotson was a good pickup for us. But some of the other positions, like we need help. Like Chop was good as a rookie. Patrick Paul is a big year for him. I mean, I also hope that there's not like oh, he struggled, he sucks. Like it's going to be his first time starting like as a full-time starter, and we'll see what happens. He's got the size, he's got the technique, he's got the potential. I honestly hope they bring Armstead back as like a team advisor, at least for camp, because he was huge for Patrick Paul.
Yeah.
He's like an additional coach on the sidelines, but someone who has real experience and real time and length of a career. And we'll see. It's a crapshoot. It's the same cycle, but it feels different. It doesn't feel like the same as the same old Dolphins. Like hype you up, get you excited, have you buy in to then let you down. This is
Yeah.
more of the fact that it's like, look, we know what history has said. We know what we've dealt with over the last 25 years. It's either this. It's time for them to do something or just scrap it. The closer to the year, the more optimistic people will get and things will happen and injuries will happen and it will settle. The dust will settle. But as of right now, it feels a little bit different where people are saying they're just counting us out already. Where I think that could work in this team's favor.
Yeah. And listen, they gave us 5 primetime games, so the people who make these games don't really um,
Pay attention to that
see it
shit.
that way. The schedule makers, at least, you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Absolutely. And we'll see. We need a big year to Waddle. I think a chain takes the next step. We're going to see Wright being involved a lot more this year. I think Ollie Gordon will be involved as much as Mike doesn't really play with 3 running backs that much. You saw what Wright had, maybe 10 carries was the most he had all year. I can see him using these guys more. I hope that Julian Hill figures his shit out because I really don't like him as much as they like him. He's a big body. He's dirt cheap. And he's been on what, 2 of the 3 hype videos that they put out so far from camps.
Yeah. And well, the one thing that caught everybody's attention when and what's the name, Jordan Phillips wanted the playbook
Yes.
during that phone call.
Yeah, that's great. That's what you want.
Yeah, you got these, and then of course um, the running back says if it's me or you, it's going to be you.
Hmm.
And let's hope McDaniels utilizes him. You know what I
I think
mean?
he's I think he's been on the radar since we drafted a Chan because 2023 was his like Doak Walker best running back in the league year. And then he had the issue with the legal stuff that was all dropped, and then he got hurt a little bit. So they stayed. He played another year. Like last year wasn't great. Oklahoma State was more passing offense. It didn't really give him the ball that much, but in his limited amount of carries, he still fucking balled out. He's a big body. It's something that we've all been like, clamoring for a long time. Guys
Especially on third
over
short.
6 foot two, 6'1", 6'2", 230, 220.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he'll lean out a little bit, but to have someone over 200 pounds is big. His H-Chan ain't over 200, neither is right.
No, and like you said, it's a good change of pace back too.
Absolutely. But you saw when people were upset when we let the guy go to the Chris Brooks go to the Packers and the Packers utilize him in the same format that we should have.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So
I mean, I think that we have a chance to get to a 10-win season. Maybe 11, honestly. Just have to have the ball bounce the right way. And guys need to stay healthy. Like I went through the schedule and I was looking at it, like there's only maybe like 4 or 5 games where I'm like, yeah, this is probably gonna be a loss. It's the door's open for sure.
yeah, and so this is part of the segment where I ask you some on the spot questions.
Perfect.
Gauge your thought.
It hit me.
All right. The AF Adam Poupar did a show, and Chris Perkins David Hyde revealed that when the 2 expansion teams, the Carolina Panthers and the
Jaguars.
Jaguars came into the league, Miami was given the opportunity to move to the AFC South, but they declined. Would you have made that move if you were in charge at that time? Or do you like the rivalries that the age old rivalries that we've had?
I like where we're at, but I wish we still had Indy in our division. But I do like where we're at. I mean, the South would obviously would have been an easier path for us, but it's like, who knows how that shakes out? We had to deal with Brady. We had to deal with Peyton then. And what, Steve McNair?
Yeah. I
I
mean,
like where we're at.
Texans
I like we
Texans
built.
had our number for a long time too.
Absolutely. We could never beat them. And then, we go up big, let the foot off the gas, let them come back in, and then finally get them.
Yeah, man. Andre Johnson, man, gave me some nightmares.
Right? Foster was nasty with them. Andre. Jeez, that team was Brian Cushing. They had some decent players on the team. Like Derek Carr got the shit kicked out of him forever when he was playing with them.
Yeah, man. And
But
all
yeah,
right.
to answer your question, I would have stayed in the East. I would have just asked for like the reclass, basically where we had Indy in the division still like we had when we were growing up.
All right. Give me a second. All right. Out of all those logos that's behind us, which one did you like? You like the best?
Out of the photos behind you,
He's right here.
12, but I do like the one prior, the to 96 little dolphin guy.
Okay.
But if I had to pick uniform, it would be the throwbacks, the white throwbacks, the 70s style.
Actually, one of my favorite uniforms was the blood orange ones, which
Yeah. The
I
Dare
don't
Orange,
know
like
why
the
they
jersey
stopped.
I wear. Yeah. I love that one. Do you really think we're gonna get black this year?
I think they're going. Yeah, for the rivalry game. I think that rivalry game is going to be for the Jets because
It's
we're
gotta be a
hosting
night
them
game.
next.
I agree.
Yeah,
It's gotta be. Like, you're gonna do it at all, it's gotta be at night because otherwise you're crazy. But bring back the orange. Like, at this one, if they're changing, they're letting you have options for things. Bring back that orange. That
yeah,
97 to 12 orange is sexy as hell.
yeah. The dark orange. Hell yeah, it is.
Hmm. Yeah, it's probably like one of my all-time favorites. Not the gross 2016 creamsicle bullshit we
Yeah,
did with
yeah,
Tannehill. That was pitiful. That was so ugly. That game was like, oh, what the fuck is that?
all right.
What else you got?
You have a good history with the Dolphins. So if you could do um three draft do overs, what would they be?
Redraft do-overs. Uh, we got Deion Smith. That draft, I would have definitely not taken him. I probably wouldn't have gone Noah, and I would have went Justin Jefferson. You could have taken Justin Jefferson at 18 and Austin Jackson at 32. And hmm, the year we got Jason Allen from Tennessee, I would have went in a different direction that year as well. Those are just three that stand out to me. I mean, there's so many we could pick. As much as like Jake Long was the right pick, you could have taken Matty Ice and maybe changed the franchise trajectory. Um, I think what else we had. But yeah, those are three that stand out to me. The Jason Allen was, I think that was like 2006 from Tennessee, the corner. And then
Yeah.
next year we got Vontae, and then the Deion Jordan shit show. Definitely would have went that direction at all. We could have had what JJ and other guys that same year.
Mhm.
And then the most recent one that stands out is that I would have flipped and take Justin Jefferson at 18 after two at 6 or 5, 6, 5, 5, whatever, 5, 2 of 5, Jefferson at 18, and then Austin Jackson at 32. If I could only change one pick, it would be that. I would swap that because Jackson, if healthy, is figured out a little bit over the last couple of years. Like, he looked great when we gave him that deal. And you have to think that a tackle, if he's healthy, you're only giving him 3 years, 36 or something like that. He's making like 13 a year. Top tackles in the league are making 32, 34 right now. It's kind of wild.
What's funny is 2000, early 2000s was the defense that Jimmy Johnson built was amazing,
Stacked,
right? Yeah,
loaded, bro. Even the like complimentary players were loaded, like the Terrell Buckleys of the, you know what I mean? Like, these guys were loaded. Jeremiah Bell. Sammy Knight when we got him to come over. Yeah, I love those teams. Those teams were special. If we got to put it all together and just had a little bit of luck.
So let me ask you this then: if would you would have what coach would you would have preferred over Wanstead that year? We could have got a coach.
When we fired him and went Philbin
When we, no, we when we
or went
Dean
Soprano.
Johnson sat down.
Um, oh, if we could, then the time to do it would have been to go after Andy Reid. Honestly, right then would have been the time for Reid. You could have went after Mora. You could have gone Dungy. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't hate Wanstead as much. I think we just let him stay too long.
Yeah,
But yeah, I probably would have went. I mean, Parcells was never gonna work. It's just like the Knicks when they got Phil Jackson. It was too late. You're trying too many damn things. It's not gonna work. I mean, you could have went after Shanahan. Shanahan would have been a good play because then you could have had his son take over after the fact, like you're doing now. Uh Holmgren even would have been decent. You're getting guys at the end of their thing. No Dennis Allen. We are who they thought they were.
yeah.
No Schottenheimer with the gleam. Uh, guys like that. That's where I would have went. Like it depends on what direction they wanted to have. You had the defense set. You just need to work on the offense. So you would have wanted to go more offensive, like West Coast style. So Shanahan would have worked. It was when he went to the Redskins, or Spurrier when they pulled him from college to go to the Redskins for the year. Something like that is where I probably would have went.
Yeah,
I
somebody
would,
with a little offensive minded because that defense, you really didn't need a defensive minded
loaded,
coach.
absolutely, and even pieces on the offensive line were okay. I mean, it's when you had Ruddy and guys like that. Like you had some nasty guys. I mean, 16, they almost figured out the offensive line. Well, it was a patchwork, but it was solid that year. Jermaine Bushrod was great for us that year. It worked.
So all right, here we go. We're gonna do some pictures,
Okay.
and you tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. I know you're a Knicks fan, and hey man, listen, Knicks um, are gonna might have a chance to bring a championship to New York.
I mean, maybe
So
it looked like shit blew it last night, but it's a series for a reason.
yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna bring up some pictures, and you tell me what's the first thing that comes to your head.
All right. Patrick Ewing. Uh, he gave us everything he had. Even in 2000, even that 99 finals where his knees were shot to shit. Just a warrior. One of the best all-time centers, in my opinion. He never had anybody to help him, and he couldn't do it by himself. But hell of a ball player, respect the shit out of him. Happy he got in the Hall of Fame, and I'm excited what his kid brings to Syracuse next year because he's gonna be a baller too. Legend, but shit luck. Almost sometimes you want to think like him and Stephen A. Just like take a night off for us, Spike. But because like he just like it's just bad luck. But Spike does a lot for the community. Great artistic mind, great person. Met him a few times. I got to give him his credit. Like he's gonna be, we'll be like him one day, where we're rooting for the team until we die. So I give him his flowers.
No doubt. All right.
Legend. I mean, shit. As much as he did for y'all, he did great things for the Knicks too. Um, he'll always be one of the top basketball minds, in my opinion. Player, he was a good player too. I mean, what can you say? Jimmy did his thing in Dallas. He came over. He built us a pretty good fucking team, especially on the defense side of the ball. Congratulations to him to finally get in the Hall. Mixed bag, but early on liked his ideology. Let him stay too long. Um, he was okay. He kind of was the beginning of mediocrity for us. You know what I mean?
Speaking and yeah,
I love me some Ricky. Ricky was just in the wrong era for football. Guy was an absolute house, mix of speed, physicality, great vision. He had his personal issues and his anxieties and whatnot, and the whole smoker thing. I mean, now it's nothing. Ricky did it the right way, where you had Favre taking 100 perks a day,
yeah.
just in the wrong time.
That's Patrick
Right,
Surtain.
Sertan, I love Pat. I love Pat, love his son. I love Sam. All great people. He left it all on the field for us when he played for us. You know, him and Sam. You could argue that they were the top two corners, lockdown corners in football for at least 2 or 3 years.
All right.
Gotta respect this guy. As much as we rooted against him when he played versus us. He came in '08. I mean, look, we had a little help with the Brady ACL thing, but he took our team from dog shit to winning an AFC East you know, in one
Yeah.
year. He had his limitations with his shoulder and he didn't have the biggest arm, but the guy was a great game manager. His high IQ was high. He didn't turn the ball over that much. He was very accurate. He just knew how to win ball games. And even if it was ugly, he knew how to win.
So let me ask you this: I'm sure you live in well, you're from Jersey, right?
Hmm.
You've been to a lot of MetLife takeovers.
Yeah.
Which one was your favorite MetLife? Would you say, and your not so favorite one?
In recent memory, I mean, we won at MetLife pretty much. I mean, last year was the first loss I've seen at MetLife for the Jets in like 6 years. I really like 16, 17. They were both fun. Even the team wasn't perfect. We still mollywopped them. And then you could say even like 21, 22 were fun. Tua hasn't lost there. So I've had a couple bad experiences there because I had to watch dog shit Skyler after Teddy Bridgewater got hit on that first play by Sauce Gardner, and a phantom person in the top of the stadium spotted said he was wobbling, and we had to have Skyler have his jump in to have his first pretty much pseudo start. That was ugly as hell.
Yeah,
Last year wasn't pretty with
Aaron
Snoop
Rodgers.
Huntley at all. I mean, Rodgers is Rodgers. He's a shell of himself, but you give him more opportunities than not, he's gonna dice you up.
All right.
You think he signs with anybody?
Who's that? Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Apparently, he's not gonna. He doesn't want to sign with her. Last night, got a notification last night. Apparently, he's not gonna be signing with the Steelers.
So the Saints are an option. I guess we'll see what happens with them.
I mean, his best option would be the Vikings. A great defense and Justin Jefferson. Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
And they got McCarthy. Did Danny Jones re-sign with them? I mean, he's
I
not
think
great,
so.
but he's an okay backup to have. At least somebody with some sort of experience. You don't have to. You see how good the team is built. You don't have to be great, just enough. They can win games many ways.
Karen Rodgers is done. I don't know. I
Facts. I
like
mean,
that.
he
Karen
should.
Rodgers.
I like
It's
that too. Diva.
so. All right, give me a number through 1 through 5. I'll shuffle these cards.
Let's go 2 for Jeter.
Two. All right. 1, 2. All right. We have five categories.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Here it is. Favorite Dolphins free agent
All
all
time or
time.
this year?
All time.
Wow. Um, that's tough. All time favorite free agent. I guess we'll go. I mean, we'll go new. I mean, them making the swing for Tyreek was pretty surprising and something that wasn't really expecting. I mean, and it's a bad answer, but we'll go with that for now. It's like I could
Yeah.
say a couple others, but we'll stay with that for now.
Defensive MVP.
Of last year?
No, all time.
Oh, ugh. That's tough, dude. There's so many names you can name. Keep the theme more current, I guess. JT.
All right. Favorite running back of all time.
Does it have to be a Dolphin?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, the easiest answer is Zonka, and I wish we had longer for Ricky, but I'll say Ricky just 'cause I like this style of play
Who
for
would be
new
your
school.
all-time favorite running back?
Eric Dickerson and Barry
Eric
Sanders,
Dickerson.
one
Oh
A,
yeah,
one B.
from the Rams.
Yeah, I have
Uh,
like that's like the one thing I have of like a lot of graphs. I have Eric Dickerson on like every single style. I could have his home address and talk to him often actually.
yeah, it's I remember what's funny is he calls himself the Rambassador.
Yeah,
All right,
he looks good for
linebacker
his age too. Linebacker,
of all
Z,
time.
Z ZT for sure.
And last but not least, favorite offensive lineman of all time, Dolphin.
I have two. I really like Larry Little, and
Okay, that's good.
I love Richmond Webb.
All right, that A, 1B.
Pretty much. That's where I'm at with those guys. I mean, there's so many you can name there too. You can go like Kuchenberg. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Kuchenberg was all pro in three different positions.
Hmm. And it's crazy that like I mean we've had good run with centers like Dwight Stevenson after Larry was fantastic as well.
Um, you listened to on In the Fish Tank podcast, correct?
Hmm.
Have you ever heard the one they did with Kim Camper, which is my favorite episode of all time?
Yeah, that I like that one, and I really liked Manny Fernandez's episode. That one
Yeah,
was
Manny
awesome too.
Fernandez was too good. I like the one he talked about the karate instructor, how
Yeah,
he thought the karate instructor was going to flip him over.
yeah, he's a crazy guy. He's a character.
As a matter of fact, I draw a lot of parallels between him and Zach Seiler. They're both were hunters.
Hmm. Just
You know what I
wild
mean?
bayou boys.
Oh yeah, and to be a hunter, you really got to have instinct because if
Hmm.
not, that's your ass.
Absolutely.
Especially boars and gators.
Yeah, they're so unpredictable. You need to be on your shit.
So finally, before we wrap this up, and I appreciate you for making some time with me, man. I
Yeah,
really
of
do,
course,
man.
man. No problem at all.
Uh, what is your Miami Dolphins Mount Rushmore? Oh, by the way, real quick, and now kind of lost
Yeah,
my
you're
train of
good.
thought, but with the Kim Camper, the reason I brought him up was because he shared some Bob Kuchenberg stories that really were like, damn, he really needs to be into the Hall of Fame. As a matter of fact, he said he will not step in a foot into the Hall of Fame until Kuchenberg is in there.
Definitely. Like when people bring up like who needs to get in, like he's always up. Well, I always say him right up, him and Richmond, and then you honestly could make a case for Clayton or Duper. You could. They're much farther down the line, but those two for certain. You can also make a case for Dick Anderson. He was fantastic. Rushmore for the Dolphins.
And there
It would
doesn't
have
have to be players; it could be owner, coaches, and so it's
so then
encompassing everything.
you're gonna go Don
Mm-hmm.
Marino, Larry,
Larry
and
Zonka,
yeah, and this is fucking hard. Oh man, that's tough. You could say so many names. You could say Zach. You could say Jason. You could say Bob Greasy. You could say, you know what I mean? Oh man, that's difficult as hell.
yeah,
So I got Don, Larry, and Dan.
Joe Robbie could be a good name.
Yeah. Fuck. Let's go with JT, I guess.
JT, all right, cool. All right, man. I appreciate everybody who stopped by. Rafael Corbright, Costa Nostra, Michael K. Thank you for coming through. Lewis, my man Cat for Life, everybody who came through, and appreciate y'all. And we'll be here. We'll be back Saturday for a special edition of In the Blender with my man,
Paris Love, right?
Paris Love.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, man.
Thank you for
I
having me.
am.
Appreciate everybody listening. Support
Yeah,
this
for
man. He's a
sure.
great dude. And we'll be talking soon. We're gonna plan this year. Anybody that's gonna come out to those games, we'll definitely have to meet up, grab a
Are
beer.
you coming to any home games? Are you doing fan club weekend this year?
I'm not gonna do fan club. I was gonna do whenever we were gonna do the Ricky cruise, but I don't know when that's gonna be. The other game I was looking at was possibly the Bengals or New Orleans. I just have to make it work because it's like I'm doing Carolina, Atlanta, the Jets here, Pittsburgh away, and then Spain. So I have those five are set. So I'm probably gonna try to pick at least a home game to come down to see everybody too.
All right, man. Hey, man, listen, let me know, man, so I can meet up with you at the tailgate. You know what I'm
For
saying?
sure, for sure. Absolutely, my friend. We'll be
All right, so
talking.
just stick around backstage for a little bit, and yeah, man, as we close out, man, appreciate y'all. And man,
Absolutely.
season 3 is almost over. The last episode will be in July, and then we got football season here. We got training camp. We got preseason. But I can't believe, man, we're almost at the halfway mark of the year.
Started going by quick at the end here. Recently, anyway.
So, hey, man, time flies when you're having fun, man. And like I said, we'll see you hopefully on, like I said, Finn.
Q Billy talking, and you'll see my West Central Florida for sure.
For sure. So, all right, guys.
All right, bro.
Hope everybody has a good night, man. Y'all stay safe and be safe. Be out. Peace.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz all day.